headphone coming.
मैं check करता हूँ. 1 second. Hello everyone, we are live now. So please tell if my voice is audible to you all. Please drop down in the comments. Please let me know in the comment section whether my voice is audible. Great, I can see the voice is audible. So friends, we are waiting for 2 more minutes for people to join in, and then we will start with the webinar. Thanks for joining. And then we'll start with the webinar. Thanks for joining. So I guess we can start now. We have a good amount of viewers. So everyone, we have with us Ravit Singh Malik. Welcome Ravit to the webinar. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I would like to ask you to give a brief introduction to our viewers about yourself and your journey so far. Can you let us know where are you working right now?
Okay. So hello everyone. So as you most of know me, my name is Ravit, and right now I'm currently working with Amazon Bangalore, and in Amazon I'm working with the payments framework, which they handle around billions of transactions every day, and yeah, that's pretty much around the uh, Amazon. And about my journey, I belongs from a tier 2 college, and first I got placed in Samsung, and I stayed there for a year, and then I switched to Paytm, and there I stayed for about quarter or so, and then I switched to the Amazon. That's pretty much about my background, and yeah, we can ask
Great.
me questions.
Yeah, Ravit, thanks for the introduction. Can you let us know what kind of events did you participate in college, or what kind of journey did you have? How did you prepare for for DS Algo, for cracking interviews, and while you were in Samsung or Paytm, or while you were in college? Can you let us know our viewers about your journey?
I started, I think, in my third year with the competition. That was a long challenge, genuine long challenge. When I was in my fifth semester, so I started from there, and it was like a hit when I saw the green tick on my board. So then I get motivated after this, and then started digging into the many sites like Gits, Code Forces, and of course coach stuff. And then I make a group for the like-minded people, and then we started competitions in a group, and then we, like, if we get stuck there, then I then we just had a brainstorming session around that question, and how can we improve the time complexity and space complexity. So yeah, that was a start. And after that I started because I was more into in the computer programming, but was not aware that how to crack interviews for the FAANG company. So Then I then I saw interview experience on GFG, and then I started questions from there. uh, um, you know just mm, uh, hello.
Yeah, I guess most of your preparation was more into cracking interviews. So from college itself, you started preparing for interviews,
Mhm,
cracking interviews, and going through GFG and LeetCode like platforms. So
mhm.
yeah, that's great. So friends, you can put in your questions in the comment section while we are having a interview with Ravit. So in case we'll have your questions after 30 minutes of section. So yeah, Ravit, my next question would be: many of the students in second or third year, when they start with the DS algo preparation, they have a doubt that there are lots of topics. Let's say 20, 30 of topics from arrays to trees to graphs and then segment trees. So
Mhm.
where should we start with? Should we stick with 5 to 10 topics and go in detail, or whether we should cover the vast array of topics and do a little on them? I mean, if they should go with a breadth first approach or a depth first approach, what are your views on that?
So, in my opinion, for this question, there is not a single correct answer. So, but I can tell you my approach. Like, I followed breadth first strategy. I solve around 40 to 50 problems on a particular topic, ranging from easy to medium level. Then I had gone for the next topic and follow the same strategy, not going into the depth of that topic. So, in my opinion, whatever you should have the idea of how things works behind the scene, and what things need to be applied at what place. So for that, you will obviously have to start with the basics, and when you are starting, you should try to know about the different data structure and how they work properly. This will basically build a foundation for your DSA and your problem solving journey. And after covering all the topic, not into the depth. I solved medium to hard questions which require knowledge of more than one data structure. Like if I take example of LRU cache, which requires a knowledge of hash map and doubly linked list. So,
Mhm.
in my opinion, if you follow the depth first strategy, you might up using much time, and you might don't know that there is a couple of more data structures present which can actually solve that problem in a more efficient manner. So you should follow this strategy. You have to make a balance between the depth and the breadth. So first you should know that these are the data structure present, and then you can start solving 30 to 40 question in in every topic, and then you can start digging deep
Right.
to a particular
Yeah.
topic, which
Agree to
require.
your point as well.
Hmm.
I started in the same way. So I guess Ravit's point is that we should firstly know all the topics and then solve some, 30 to 40 questions in each topic, so that after you are confident in all of the topics, then you try to solve a particular question and using 2 or 3 data structures or different algorithms, because then only you will be able to, reduce the time complexity. And also while you are in interviewing, you are asked to solve in 2 or 3 approaches. So yeah. Great, Ravit. So, my next question would be, what are the resources you followed while you were in college, and which one is the best? Which one you should start with first, and which platform should you come on later?
Oh, so first of all, you will be required to learn a basic of any programming language, which you find very comfortable. And for problem solving, most of the people prefer one language, and which might be any of C++, and Java. I personally prefer C++. So once you have decided which language is comfortable for you, you can what you can do, you can do a crash course type of something from websites like Code Academy or HackerRun for understanding of the basic syntax of that programming language. And once start learning about this algorithm, you can start uh, learning algorithms like searching, sorting, linked list, array based
Okay,
functions. And after the basics, try practicing a lot problems on platforms like HackerEarth and like CodeChef. I personally prefer CodeChef, and yeah,
cool.
that's
So
all.
your preferred platform is CodeChef,
Yeah.
and if someone has not done programming in school time, then they should do some crash courses on get to get your hands dirty on that particular programming language.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, great. So yeah, let's go on to the next question. So I can see we are having some questions in the live comment section, and Abhishek Gupta is also answering them. That's great. Yeah. So if a guy is in first or second year, and what should be his roadmap for preparation of placements? How should he start, and what all should be his milestones at the end of second, third, and fourth year, respectively?
Okay, so I just said like first you can start if you are in first year or second year. It's it's very early stage, and I wish I had started at that time. So in my opinion, you can first start to learn a programming language, learn basics for DS data structures, learn some advanced data structures like STL in C++ and collections in Java, and so some basic algorithms like searching, sorting, insertion, deletion, which I just mentioned in the last question. And once you are done with the basics, try moving to the to other problems in the increasing difficulty order, and try taking part in different coding competitions in groups. First in groups, because at the end you have to give interview, you know,
Hmm.
one to one. So and then in the competition, just try to score better in your next competition one by one, and just maintain this consistency. And in your third year, try to expand your domain and learn a bit about the software development. There are a lot of massive open online courses are there
Yeah.
on YouTube or sites like Coursera. So from that you can learn how to create an app, website, and softwares, and that get some hands-on using these courses. Meanwhile, maintaining the consistency between the your competitive programming and your development, and
Right.
yeah, and continuing the same way till the final year. Then you will be ready for the Big Four or FAANG or whatever the latest name they choose to give it. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Agreed. That's a great point that one should maintain consistency whether he's in second year or third year, and they should prepare like consistently, and
Mm,
also side by side do projects and do courses from whatever platform they like. That's
exactly.
great. Yeah. So you mentioned about Coursera and other courses. So should people really attend online courses and training programs? Are these certifications really helpful when you are going to clear when you give your resume for screening? Are they really helpful in learning perspective as well as in resume screening section?
Actually, in my personal opinion, I don't believe in certifications. Like if you are giving your time to just something just for a shape of certification, then I will call it a total waste of time. And your main aim should be the learning about the things and becoming a better version of yourself every day. Answer is like it won't only certification won't help you to get placed in a high-end firms like
Right.
the so-called FANG companies, but it will definitely help you while screening your CV.
Right.
So, like, if you are from a tier two or tier three college, then simply these school companies doesn't come to your college. So, these certification or the project, it will definitely add an edge to your CV.
Right. So
Yeah,
absolutely, that's fabulous. So we
that's
should
my
not only we should go for learning and not only for certifications in our resume, because ultimately if that is asked in interviews, we should not go
Mm,
blank. The whole
yeah.
purpose is to learn.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, let's go on to the next question. So
Okay.
I've seen that being at Amazon, you have taken a lot and lot of interviews.
Mhm.
So what do you really see in a candidate while interviewing him, and what's your approach of finding the whether he will be able to raise bar at Amazon or not? What do you see in a candidate?
Okay, so what I mainly look for is the problem solving capability of the candidate, like whether he or she is able to give different approaches to solve a particular question,
Okay.
with of course varying time and space complexity, and data structure is must. So whether he or she can use different set of or different combination of data structure to solve a problem efficiently,
Hmm.
and also there is a parameter different parameter, although it's not very different from data structure algorithm, is the coding skill.
Okay.
So we judge a candidate like whether his code is modular or not, he
Hmm.
covered all the edge cases or not, he or she handle the exceptions very well or not. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing. And one more thing, and as
Hmm.
you know, Amazon has leadership principle. So there's a one leadership principle is like learn and be curious.
Hmm.
So I also look in a candidate like if the candidate is interested toward the learning towards new things or not, like what he had learned in the past 6 months, 6 to 8 months, like
Right.
yeah, that's the thing. And if like if you are a genius or like very
Mhm.
intelligent, but if your attitude toward the people and learning is not very good, or
Right,
vice
that won't much
versa,
help.
it won't work for the Amazon.
Right.
Yeah,
Would not
exactly.
work for the team as well.
Hmm.
That's absolutely correct. Right. Great. So I can see in the comment section that many people, many students are asking that they are in end of second year, they are in fourth semester, and
Okay.
they want to start coding. Whether so, I guess Ravit has dropped due to some network connection. We'll wait for him to join. Guys, please continue to put on your questions in the live comment section. We'll definitely gonna Ravit will definitely answer them up. So I will try to answer some of the questions in comment section. Uh, Someone has asked whether Code Chef or Code Forces, which one of them is better to show ranks. This is not, none of them is that much given preference while we screen resumes. Hi Rabit, so I'm trying to answer one question that says whether one should do competitive programming on Code Chef or Code Forces, which is better. So I'm saying that we don't give preference to any of the platforms. It's that if you have a rank that's well and good, that's really good. We'll consider, but there's no such preference on any of the platforms. They are all equal.
Yeah, just there are like I don't know, tens of sites are there, so you
Hmm.
should choose one or maybe two sites, and you can just deep dive into one of these sites and yeah, start doing your shits.
Right. So
Yeah.
coming back to a question I was asking you, so
Mm-hmm.
if a student is in fourth semester and he is to start coding right now, so what
Mm-hmm.
should be, and he wants to know about the interview process in on-campus placement, what
Okay.
should all be his, strategy to, he has what 1 year of time to, learn DS algo. So what should be his plan? What should be his strategy?
Like if you had never done the complete programming or data structure algorithm just before your placement, so like if you have like 6 months to 1 year, and if you wanna start right now, so you can just start with Geeks for Geeks. It has a very very well maintained sections. Like first you can do questions from linked list, then stack you, then you can go up to tree. Then if you have time, then you can explore graphs and
Dynamic programming as well.
dynamic programming and all. So like you can start from them, and then again you have to like previous question was that you have to maintain a consistency between the depth first and the breadth first approach.
Hmm.
So yeah, you can have to maintain that thing, and just and start doing question from there, and you can actually start from a book. There's a couple of books. One is Made Easy by Karamanchi, and the second book is the Cracking the Coding Interview.
Cracking the
So
code interview, yeah, that's a great book.
so yeah, you can start from there if you have just a quarter or two for
Mhm.
replacement. And for like, what was the follow-up question?
So, follow-up question was the same that what should a second or third year student when he starts, what should be his plan to, milestone, what should be there? You have told that he should follow Geeks for Geeks. So I
Yeah.
guess that answers the question,
Mhm.
right? So, moving ahead to the next question, I see some students have doubt that whether they should go for system design, OOPS and OS concepts in interviews. So, whether these questions are asked for a fresher or not,
Mhm.
specifically for Amazon.
Okay, so yeah, definitely. Amazon asks this kind of system design question, but if you are interviewing for a SG2 profile with
Right.
experience ranging from 3 to 8 years, and for freshers, or like if you have experience of like 6 to 1 year, and if you are going for a SG1 profile, then it asks questions from OOPS, OS, some DBMS concept in the third round, because they in third round there is a section for computer science fundamentals.
Okay.
So they generally ask simple question, not into the depth. they just wanted to know that if you are comfortable with data based schemas or operating system concepts or not. The questions might be like can you give me this? Can you explain what's the normalization? What's the 1NF, 2NF, BCNF, and if you know the difference between the SQL and the NoSQL, difference between the mutex and semaphore, and like while giving the answer, you should tell that what's the weight function, the signal function, busy waiting. So like this kind of small question they ask, and they definitely ask you the questions from OOPS, like the what's the inheritance, what's the polymorphism, and what's the data abstraction, how can you use how can you use abstraction, and
Right.
how you can handle exception, multi-level exceptions, how you can handle. So this kind of problem statement there.
Right. I guess these questions are part of their coursework, and these are just to test whether they have basic knowledge or not, because that they will also use while they come in industry once.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess that answers the question. Those are basic level questions, which are to make sure that you have not crammed them during your exam times. And so cool. I'm going through the comment section to see if any question is unanswered. I think yeah. So I guess Abhishek Gupta has put on a great point that if you are in third year, then you need to increase your speed to solve problems, because you only have 1 year of time and you should try to solve more and more questions and try to reduce time complexity and space complexity.
Yeah,
That's what will help
uh,
you the most.
yeah. Here I can give you like first, if you are starting solving a question, you should start with a time, with a
Hmm.
timer based thing. You can set your clock on around 30 to 35 minutes to solve a particular question with the optimized time and space complexity. So
Hmm.
like if you are not able to solve in in that particular time, then you should search for the hints. You can ask the interviewer, like if you are in interview, you can ask like hints, and they definitely want to help you there. And
Yeah.
if it, yeah, after giving the hints, indirectly hints, you can start again to solve your question in the given particular time.
Right, that's a great approach. So 20 to 30 minutes of time is what we expect a student to solve the question. So you should go with the timer approach. And also, I think Amazon is one of the dream companies. So when they are interviewed for the very first time in their life, so they tend to solve the question in their mind and not share the approach. So the
Mm,
best thing to do is to share your approach, whatever is going in your mind. Interview doesn't know before he has met you that very day, so you need to try to show what kind of approach. That's what he will be able to judge you on. So try to tell him everything that's coming into your mind and your approach, and then only he will be able to judge you well.
yeah.
Cool. So coming on to one of the last questions. So
Mhm.
many students have this doubt whether they should go for competitive programming versus normal DS algo versus projects. So many go in the open source direction. How to balance out both the things? How did you do it in your college time?
Okay, so I can start from here. That the best way, according to me, is moving toward the development one. Only after you are confident with
Hmm.
the computer science basics, like at least you should be programming in one programming language and the data structure. Like you should able to use a particular language by applying the data structures in your problem solving skills. And once you know these things, it will be easier for you to move to the project sites, as these are the foundation of the development. So I will recommend you going through the basics first, then starting with the competitive programming, and then moving to the projects. So
Okay.
it's always better to have a variety and switch between the things. Sometimes you just don't feel like taking part into the competitive programming, and I agree it's very exhaustive area. And
Hmm.
in that time you can take a break and switch to a relatively rewarding field, which is development, I think. And
Hmm.
following this way, you will never get bored of doing same things, and you will learn to manage your time between the competitive programming and working on projects. Although I feel it's important to at least have a basic idea like how a sites
Right.
work, how they can work, and
Hmm.
how a REST API works
Yeah.
in the third year. So in my
Right.
opinion, you should give less priority to the project as compared with the data structure and algorithms. But it's not if you like you just simply ignore this,
Yeah,
and because it might add you an edge while screening your CV. So
great.
you should maintain a consistency between your data
Right.
structure and the projects.
So I guess Ravit, you told it fabulously. So you need to maintain a balance, and to do that, you need to first go with the very basics, which is DS algo preparation, because that is what will help you crack the interviews. And in case, since it's very exhaustive, if you feel like, so you can switch to these projects. That will give you a good hands-on experience on code as well, because when you are trying to do problem-solving questions, those are not much into development. You don't see a website running in front of you, so if you want to
Mhm.
gain some confidence kind of thing, you can probably go in project development mode. That will
Yep.
also help you showcase your skills in your resume screening as well.
Just
Cool.
one thing, but first to done with the basics of data structure and algorithm, so that you can apply these things to your project, and which would be beneficial at the time of your interview. Because in the last round, maybe they discuss these kind of things, that you have learned this kind of data structure and algorithm. How did you apply that thing in your project, and how did you optimize that thing? Yeah, this kind of problem they would ask.
Right. So I'm moving to a different set of question now. I can see that in the live comment section, and that is my like, one of my personal question also, because in my college Amazon didn't come. We have
Mhm.
a same alumni. So I got placed in the very first company on day one, that was Deloitte, and that
Okay.
is a service-based company. So
Mm.
if you have, I see you were into Samsung and then Paytm, most are product-based companies. So you might have your friends in service-based companies. How should a person working presently in service-based company try to prepare? What should be a roadmap for such a person who is working in industry? And
Mhm.
how should he move from a service-based to product-based company?
For a product-based company, they like if I can tell you the interview process of Amazon. From that,
Mhm.
you can journalize that how one can switch from a service-based company to the product-based company, because for most of the product-based companies, interviews are almost at the same level, more or less, a couple of here and there. So they generally ask in first there is a CV screening, and after that they just throw you a link of
Hmm.
of a competitive programming test, which consists of
All right,
couple of
coding round. Yeah,
questions and around 9 to 10 MCQs. So,
right.
and after clearing those, they call you for a on-site or a chime or type interview, and they simply wanna judge you on three or four things mainly. First is your data structure and algorithms. Second is your problem solving skill. Third is your coding style, and the
Okay,
last one is your computer science fundamentals. So
okay,
if you're in a service-based company, then there are higher chances that you are not doing coding, or you are not solving a big tech
okay,
problem in your day-to-day life. So you can start with lead code, or simply gigs for gigs. And if you are planning to switch in a couple of months, or maybe in 6 months, so you can start with lead code. They provide a very well defined uh,
set of
level,
question. Yeah.
yeah, level of and set of questions, and they also provide you a interview experience and a set of questions that a particular
Mhm.
company asks. So what you can do, you can just start with a couple of questions per day, and
Okay,
do it for a month, and then you can check your progress, and simply that at 1 or 2 months ago I was not able to solve that kind of question, and now I'm able to solve this kind of question with this difficulty level. And yeah, simply just do a lead code. This is the shortest answer, and like if you have time, then you can uh, mock you can give mock interview with your friends who are already in the product based company. So you can just
right,
simply ask him that whether he is available for a 30 minutes of interview round or not.
right.
Yeah,
So
that's
summing
my.
it up, I guess one should have a plan of 6 months and then
Yeah.
start with code like platform and solve questions. Try to reduce the time they are trying to solve the question, and get some referrals in companies and then apply. I guess you have told the four things that are asked in that are more focused in product based companies. So
Yeah.
one should go for problem solving skills, the leadership principles for that particular company, coding style. So yeah, got your point. I guess that will be helpful to many of our viewers right now who
Mm.
have this question. Cool.
And if you are product if you are a service based company, then you can simply, if there are high chances that you are aware of some coding, basics of data structure and algorithm, then you can start with gigs for gigs. Start with the linked list stack, which I already mentioned earlier. So
Mhm.
just do a couple of questions every day, and then you can just simply increase your difficulty level as per your comfort.
Right. So many people think if if they are confident that they are able to solve questions till trees, dynamic programmings, should they go
Mm.
for segment trees and other strong data structures and algorithm section for trying to get into top four companies like Facebook, Amazon,
Mm.
Google, Netflix? What's your view on that?
Okay, so these are the advanced data structure, as you mentioned,
Mhm.
segment T, AVL, and hashing. And hashing is a simple, but the variation of hashing. These are the uh, advanced level data structure, which these companies generally don't ask in
Mhm.
your interview, and this is generally used in your competitive programming. So I'm not telling you that just deep dive into these data structures and end up wasting much time, because in my opinion they uh, won't ask you
Mhm.
these data
Okay.
structures. And yeah, but you should have a if they ask you like how to implement a hash map,
Mhm.
you can hash map in a problem solver, and then they ask you
Yeah.
how a hash map works internally, then you should know that basics.
Hmm.
Okay,
Agreed.
so yeah, so just to focus on the simple data structure, which are like, array, doubly linked list, and queue, and you
Mhm.
should be aware how they are in how they work internally, and you
Yeah.
should focus more on that. And you can simply ignore these data structure like segment tree and AVL for this time.
Cool. Got your point. So to sum it up, we should first focus more on, when we go into STL and C++, we just start using, classes like stack and STL data structures. In fact, we should go in detail that how are they implemented really. That will
Yeah.
help us to build a fundamental instead of, going to segment trees. Because
Mm.
once you have got some confidence in trees and dynamic programming, try to reduce the time instead of going in segment trees and all.
Yeah.
Cool. So, coming on to our next question, I can see in the comment section that many people are asking what should be the level of competitive programming to crack into Amazon. What's your view on that? Does anyone need to be a top competitive programmer?
No, in my opinion, no, because I know many of my friends who cracked Amazon, and they never started computer programming. They simply just polish their data structure and algorithm concept, and just increase their capability to solve a problem very efficiently
Mhm.
while using a best time and space complexity. So in my opinion, complete programming might be a helpful while thinking of a solution very quickly. So it might help you in that direction. But just to crack a company, I
Mhm.
don't think so that only complete programming will help you.
Right. Got your point. So that sums up the question, various questions asked in the comment section that whether they need to do full stack development as asked by Rahul Das. So no, you need to first have DS algo preparation, and you not need to be a really great competitive programmer because that's an entirely different field. You just need to polish your DS algo skills, which are required to crack the interview. It's similar to what you were as an IIT JEE. So we were asked to solve physics, maths, chemistry questions, but that's not what we learn in engineering part. Similarly, that's not what you will deal in your job, but that's required as part of cracking interview process. So, uh, one question is, what is the present condition of hiring freshers in top firms like Amazon, Microsoft? So, not sure about Microsoft, but I guess Ravit, correct me if I'm wrong, but Amazon is hiring like anything because
Yeah, yeah.
we
Amazon
we
is
have still our business going really good.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's no hiring opportunity issue in Amazon. In fact, they are hiring like anything in India. So you should really apply for it after polishing your coding skills. Yeah. Coming to next questions. Okay, so that's one of a good question. What importance and significance is the role of a mentor and a peer group in your college, in your student group while you are in college, and how did that help you? Because I know you really had a good group in your college time. You were more into ACM, ICPC, and things like that. So, what kind of a role does that great coding group helps you out, and how to build it even?
So, like first, in many colleges, there is not culture of competitive programming. Not they are not even aware of like what's the competitive programming, what's the code shop, and what the gigs for gigs. They are
Yeah.
simply not aware of that. So here comes a role of mentor and a peer group.
Mm-hmm.
And like even if there is a not there is no not a culture in your college, but definitely you can definitely there are around 4 to 5% of students are still there who wanna crack these big four companies. So like, you have to just to search these people, and how you can do that. You can just simply enroll in a competition through any of site like Courtship. I was doing Courtship, and then I saw in a merit list from our college, and then I saw like oh, okay, these are the students who are working so hard, and
Yeah.
they are achieving, and they are doing these kind of problems. Then they know uh, some stuff. So I connected with them, and
Mm-hmm.
then started computer programming, also solving a disorder questions, solving a lead code questions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and while discussing that how one can optimize it in terms of time and space complexity. So the peer group definitely would gonna help you,
Right.
in my
In
opinion.
fact,
So
I also really wanted to have a better, because I realized that this thing is really important while I was in third year. So if I would have a really good guidance. I got a good guidance from you also, being a senior from our college. So if I had got that in first or second year, that would be really helpful because I also started quite late. I was more into development. So yeah, that really plays a good role in my view also, because
mm,
for first and second year students, I guess they can, if they don't have that much really good coders in their group, they can create a community. They can have a coding test in their college and recognize which one is doing competitive coding and preparing DS algo, and then they can club with them. And if they want to have outside their college, they can probably go in really competitions and during fest time, and can figure out who is the best coder in this college and try to communicate with them, or at platforms like CodeChef like you did. That was a really great thing.
mm,
So I guess that will help. So, moving on to our next question. I saw that you did internship at Untrodden Labs as a backend developer intern. So,
mm.
how should a student in second or third year prepare for internships while he's from a tier two, three college where opportunities don't arise, where there are not on-campus rounds for these internships? How did you plan for it?
Okay, first I can tell you that how did I approach the company, and then I would gonna uh, tell that how you can do
Mm-hmm.
these are this kind of things. So what I did, I just apply on Internshala, because I'm from tier two college, so no good company, or even a small company comes to our college for internship. So what I did, I applied for internship at the Internshala, and from there they picked my CV and just called me, and I went in their office for the on-site round, and they I think uh, 2 or 3 rounds were there. They were totally based on the data structure and algorithm, and last one was the simple hiring manager or
Okay.
HR round. So yeah, that's how I approach the company. So and again, data structure and algorithm helped me there
Mm-hmm.
to crack that interview. And
Okay.
yeah, and the second thing is how you can apply.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, referrals gonna help you the most. So like if you
Mm-hmm.
have peers or seniors who
Yeah.
works in a top-notch companies or mid-level companies will also work fine. So like if you have
Mm-hmm.
referrals, then it will definitely gonna work. You can directly tell him, ask him to refer you, and like in couple of weeks you get the interview opportunity, and just by using your problem skill and problem solving skills and data structure and
Right.
some skills, you can definitely crack the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Because in
Okay.
also they gonna ask these same kind of questions. They will
Mm-hmm.
judge you on your problem solving skills, how you code, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely on that parameters only.
Right. So you got your internship via Internshala, and many others can get via that platform. And
Yeah.
also, if you get a referral from a top-notch company from your senior, so that's how it works. And I saw one question that says whether they can get internship at Amazon, Microsoft in second year. So I am not sure. I've not seen any person getting in second year, but they do get in third year.
Mm.
Mostly Amazon takes on-campus interns, so that's how it goes. They do take off-campus interns. Like I was an intern for 6 months, but that was in final year. So that's a really great internship process that Amazon follows. They try to convert 6 months interns into full time because that's a really good time one gets experience about Amazon and they're working. So yeah, if you are from a tier 2, 3 college, you can apply for that internship. If Amazon comes in your college, so be prepared by end of third year, by end of second year, because then also you will be asked same questions, though the round will be less and it would be less. Uh, it would be more easy, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming on to the next question. So your friends who are working in top companies, in fact, I would like to tell everyone that Ravit also cracked Goldman Sachs interview at the same time while he was, uh, interviewing with Amazon, and he preferred Amazon over Goldman Sachs. So Ravit, can you tell me your experience about Goldman Sachs and why did you prefer Amazon over Goldman Sachs? What was your view?
Okay, so first I'm gonna answer about your Goldman Sachs question. So it was a for Goldman Sachs and like every fintech company like the D Show and the Morgan Stanley. The interview process is quite quite for a longer span of time. Like I the interview for me took around 2 to 3 months. Uh, like from starting of the hacker sorry hacker
Yeah.
around to getting the final offer. So first
Mm-hmm.
there was a hacker earth round. So hacker earth or hacker end.
Okay.
I just forgot. So there
Mm-hmm.
were a couple of questions, and in about 3 hours you have to solve that couple of questions. There was a pretty straightforward. Like if you know basics of array or linkage, you can just simply do
Mm-hmm.
that in like 40 to 45 minutes. So I did that, and in second round, there was a quarter pack round in which they share a screen and then they give you a question, and then on the same screen you have to solve a couple of again the data structure and algorithm questions. So
Okay.
you can choose only two languages. One is C++ and other one is Java.
Okay.
So I chose C++ because I'm more comfortable with it. So and after that there were around two telephonic round. One
Okay.
was based on the Java because
Mm-hmm.
they prefer Java
Mm-hmm.
language over the C++. So one was the basics of Java core, and the second one was on your project plus your operating system concept and your DB concepts, database management system concepts. And after these 4 rounds, they called me for a on-site round, and there they took 6 round of interviews. Each one uh, took around 50 minutes to 1 hour. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the all round work totally based on your projects and data structure and algorithm, your problem solving skills, how you code, and
Mm-hmm.
is your code is modular, exceptions are handled perfectly or not, and
Okay.
yeah, that kind of things were there. So there were around 5 to 6, I think, 6 round of on-site
Mm-hmm.
were there.
Yes, that's a really grilling process. I would say 6 interviews in a particular day. That's a really long day. So yeah, seems like Goldman Sachs has a really long process. So
Mhm.
if you want to apply for Goldman Sachs, you should try for other companies as well because Goldman Sachs will take a long amount of time, and you should have other offers as well if you want to negotiate. So cool. So you didn't wanted to go. You wanted to have a job at a more tech-based company. That's why you chose Amazon versus a fintech company.
Yeah, I chose Amazon or Goldman Sachs because, of course, it's a brand. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the brand companies, and being from a tier two college, I definitely wanna add that name to my CV, to my resume. Like if I see myself in a 5 years down the line, then I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have that name on my CV. So definitely I
Right.
choose Amazon, the Goldman Sachs, because of its brand and. Yeah, that was my.
Yeah, that's a really honest answer because some people tend to avoid this question. But thank you
Mhm.
so much for this great
And
answer.
one more thing, like if you are from a tier two or tier three college,
Mm-hmm.
so and if you are have offers from couple of companies, then you should choose whose value is uh, who is worthy in terms of brand, not in terms of money, because Goldman Sachs pay me much higher
Mm-hmm.
base than
Oh,
Amazon. So, but brand should
yeah,
be
agreed with your point. 5 years down the lane, which one will matter more? That should be
yeah.
considered instead of the money factor.
Hmm.
That's great. Cool. I guess that's a great point of view for our viewers. Cool. So, guys, I'm going through the questions in comment section, and I guess most of my questions are now answered by Ravit. I'm waiting for your questions. Let me know, and I will question them to Ravit. One of the questions is that students, go with the projects varying from ML to web development to Android to blockchain. What are some of the good projects, or what kind of projects should one have in resume to have a easy screening by recruiter? What's your view?
Uh, okay, so let me say in that one that this ML, blockchain, and this kind of stuff. These
Mm-hmm.
are just hot things right now. So
Yeah.
these are just fancy things which can uplift your CV
Mm-hmm.
to a much upper level, because when the recruiter just selects your CV or screen your CV, he or she is not from the technical background, so he is not aware of
Mm-hmm.
things that what's in depth what you have done. So it basically just choose from that kind of things. Like if you have done project in ML, if you have done projects in like blockchain, then
Mm-hmm.
simply he might assume that you will be very good in your coding. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that just do this kind of project. Just start with the basics, data structure
Mm-hmm.
algorithm, and then computer programming. And then, if you have time, then apply
Yeah.
this kind of these basic thing to your project. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have enough time after that, also, then then you can go to the ML and the blockchain thing.
Right.
I'm not
So
suggesting
yeah,
that,
that definitely. Mm-hmm.
yeah, directly jump to the ML on the black blockchain thing, because these are
Mm-hmm.
the hot topics right now.
Yeah.
They I'm not aware that they will be present in 5 to 10 years or not. But
Mm-hmm.
the second algorithm, these are the core basic fundamentals of
Mm-hmm.
any interview. So you should focus on that first. And like if
Right.
you have, then you can definitely go. To that.
Definitely. That's a great point because these things are in hype right now.
Mm.
Maybe, yeah, things like ML data science have already boomed and they really have a good future. Blockchain is still one of the rising concept in industry. So definitely they will add to, because that ensures that you have worked on them, you have coding skills, and these will be grilled on in your interview sections. In case if you're going for other companies, not in Amazon. Amazon more focuses on DS algo.
Mm.
So
This will, yeah, this will definitely gonna help you in screening
mhm,
your by the recruiter or the hiring manager. But in interview, they're gonna ask only the questions around your data structure and algorithm or your
yeah,
problems.
right. Cool. That answers the question that in top companies you need to have DS algo. That's a plus point if you have some good projects out there. If I don't think recruiter has much knowledge about these hype concepts, but from they have they go through tons of resumes in a month, so they will be able to identify. So if you want to have these projects, first of all, don't go for the hype technology. Just go for the skill that interests you. It's a plus point if you want to go in ML project versus web app or Android or whatever blockchain. So just go, give a hands-on, try to understand the concepts, and then deep dive into and do a good project in that section. Don't go for the technology just for the sake that it's having a hype in the industry right now. That's not a good approach. Yeah. So meanwhile, the questions are coming in the comment section. Can you tell me how's life going in during this lockdown, and how have you shifted your work standards, work technique in this lockdown, and what kind of projects you currently work in at Amazon?
Like in this COVID-19 environment, it's a pretty hectic because I have to make my own food and then do the all the the jhadu pocha on my. So yeah, this makes our work a pretty hectic, and
Mhm.
only because of these things, we are not able to sometimes we are not able to meet our deadlines, our project deadlines because of because most
Yeah.
of it went into these kind of
Okay.
things.
Right.
So yeah, so in like
Seems like
it's
you're doing a lot of household chores right now
yeah.
because you're alone in Bangalore. Yeah. Good.
And what is your follow-up question?
So, follow-up question: what kind of projects? So, people would like to know, since you are in payment section, which is one of the great teams at Amazon.
Okay.
So, what projects do you work on in this past 1 year you have been here?
Okay, so like as you know, I'm working as a Amazon payment. So basically,
Yeah.
we are launching new payment methods in a country like Thailand, Malaysia, because
Okay.
Amazon is not currently present there. There are around 14 countries in world in which Amazon is present. So like if a person or if a guy wants to buy something from
Mhm.
Amazon and he lives in a country like Thailand where the Amazon is not present. So if he
Yeah.
gonna purchase that item, how he gonna purchase that? And if he wants Amazon to pay in his local currency, so
Mm-hmm.
like what he have to do? So basically, we are launching new payment methods, which is currently based on net banking. If you
Okay.
compare our current payment system, so which is based on. So currently, we are launched a payment method called Bank Redirect.
Mm-hmm.
So enable you know uh, people from countries.
Okay.
So
That's like of a cross-country purchase. If someone in Thailand wants to buy a product, then you are enabling him to buy that product from a nearby country in
yeah,
the cheapest amount. Cool. That sounds really great project. And that's how people ask, what is a great project? What kind of projects do we deal in? So yeah, this is the kind of project and this is the scale, because Thailand has a large population, and enabling them to buy and launching Amazon there is really one of the great things as a developer you can do. Cool. That's a great project you're working on. So coming on to the questions, we have some good questions in section. Uh, do Amazon hire for ML profile as a fresher? Do
no, they simply don't hire for ML profile as a fresher. Like if I can tell you, they prefer MS or it would be great if they
PhD
have a
candidate?
yeah PhD candidate and they should have experience of at least 5 to 6 years for a ML profile or for a data science profile. So
Okay, so
they
that
want-
seems like you need to do MS or PhD, or
yeah,
either have some experience in industry in the particular field, then only you can come, not as a fresher.
no. not as a fresher.
Cool. So, guys, we have a profile as data engineer in at Amazon, and that is different from a applied scientist role. So, if you have some experience in ML, then you can come for the ML roles. But data engineer is more on the data pipeline, data engineering side. So you can join it as a fresher, but not in a ML or deep learning role here. So I guess that answers the question. And going to the comment section. So more questions are coming on ANN, CNN part, but that is not, part of the webinar here. So I will avoid that. Uh, Ravit, would you like to share what kind of projects did you work on while you were in Paytm or Samsung?
Okay. In Samsung, I have to remember.
Recall that? Yeah, that's been a long time. Yeah, please take your time.
Mhm. So did I we build we were a team of four, so we build a automation framework for
Mm-hmm,
the Samsung API and Samsung Pay app, and we built that automation framework from scratch, and
mm-hmm,
it just run thousands of script to
mm-hmm,
check every flow is working correct or not in that app. So
okay.
that was a project in Samsung, and in Paytm, I was in FluxNet team, which basically deals with the banking channel. Like
Mm-hmm,
if the channel for a particular bank is down, again I was in payments team there in Paytm.
mm-hmm,
If while doing a transaction, if a particular channel is down for a particular bank, then you have to you know uh, send that transaction to the another channel.
mm-hmm,
So there configurations were present. So depending upon the data from the last hour or last 24 hours, you have to make a choice like
okay.
which channel should you use for a particular transaction, so that the fallout of that transaction would be minimal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
That seems a different set of problems which are solved in Amazon, because
mm,
that's a really different field. That's great you have exposure to different companies. That helps out, I hope. So, coming on to the last question, last but not the least,
okay.
what would be your advice to students who are currently going through this? Everyone is going through this hard time, but especially students who are in second, third year. So how
Mm,
can they best utilize this time for their preparation? Because they will be having their exams, I guess, in June, July. So
okay.
this particular time, which was earlier used in their exams, how can they utilize this time and get the best out of it?
Okay, like if you are still in second or third year, or maybe you are in final year, don't get disheartened because of this COVID-19. This problem will definitely get resolved, and the companies like Big Four or the so-called FAANG, they still hire. They are still hiring like hell. So
Hmm.
so don't worry about this COVID-19 problem. And also, like Abhishek just asked, like if you are in second or third year, you can utilize this time again, like polishing your data structure and algorithm concept. Just dug deep into these concepts, and you can right now there's a I don't know, but there's a competition going on lead code. It's a major challenge, I think. Like they are giving a question on the daily
Hmm.
basis, and after solving that question, you can whatever the data structure is used by that question, you can simply explore that question and
Great,
do more and more question on by using that particular data structure and by
right,
using the algorithm. So the short answer is like you should definitely polish your data structure and algorithm concepts
right,
because in the end. This is the thing which gonna help you to
right.
grab opportunity at one of these fine companies.
Agreed. So one should, have a good mental health, stay safe, and utilize this time wisely by going through the, coding challenges. Like Ravit mentioned, some challenges going on Lead Code. Before that, 30-day Lead Code challenge was also going on. So try to code as much as possible and try to utilize the time. Be safe and be calm, because everyone is going through these hard times, and definitely when the economy comes up, the more opportunities will be available for everyone. So let's hope for the best. Uh, just last question. I guess we have already crossed our time. It's 9. So what uh, what how did you plan while you were in your first company at Samsung? How did you try? What was your plan to switch to Paytm and then to Amazon? How did you go for that?
First of all, I never think of switching Samsung to Paytm, then again to the Amazon in a very short period of time. Like
Okay.
when I in Amazon, I had an experience of around 1.5 year.
Okay.
So there was not a planned switch, but I was I just simply didn't like the project.
Okay.
And yeah, I consult with my lead, and then he told me that yeah, new projects are coming like in couple of months.
Okay.
So for that couple of months, I was I had a very less work because in MNCs there are high chances that sometimes you have much work and sometimes you have very less work. So that was a time that I had very less work.
Okay.
So and so I thought that what I should do now. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that again I should polish my data structure and some concepts so that if a new opportunity come
Mm-hmm.
in future,
You
then
should be ready for that,
should be ready for that. And
right?
so yeah, just simply I again open my Karamunji and Technical Coding interview book and just
Okay.
did the things. And when the opportunity came, I just
Mm-hmm.
tried.
Cool. Seems like you utilize your best of the time. So, guys, this is how Ravit did. So, while he was having less work at Samsung, he tried to, utilize best of the time and not, just waste it. He tried for cracking interviews, and when the opportunity came, he hit it really well. So, that's how one should use this time as well. Opportunities will come after, the lockdown is in. So, best utilize this time. Uh, just going through the comment section if I can see any question is left. Almost all the questions are asked. Almost all the important questions are done. So, yes, guys, we have another webinar successfully done, and we'll hope that we bring more and more programmers who work in top companies with us to answer your questions, to help you out, and give you best of their knowledge and experiences they had. Thank you so much, Ravit, for taking out time.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you.
really hope you're doing well. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
So,
thank
guys,
you.
we are ending this session now. I hope you stay safe and maintain social distancing. Try to best utilize this time. Ravit, you were saying something.
Yeah, just to, I'm saying that just utilize this time just to simply don't do Netflix and these things.
Yeah.
Utilize this thing in a really efficient manner. So yeah, that's the thing. And thank you, Abhishek and Abhishek Popri and Abhishek for giving me this
Yeah.
opportunity. It was my first public appearance or first webinar. So like I
Yeah.
got blank. I get blanked on couple of scenarios. So like if I
But
get a
still, it was really good. I guess people enjoyed it up, and
yeah,
people are thanking you for your time. And since it was your first, but it was really good. You were able to answer everything. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have an interaction with you here.
okay, yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay, guys, we are signing off.